Today is the culmination of many, many years of rediscovering Patrick O'Connell. Myself as a little kid always admired this grandfather I'd never met who'd captained Manchester United.
It's very moving. It's quite emotional, but very proud of it. Yeah. He is the only man ever to be captain of Ireland, captain of Manchester United, and manager of FC Barcelona.
Thanks, James, for joining us here today at the Patrick O'Connell Memorial Plaque, which is here in Drumcondra. We just heard a clip there from some of his relatives, his grandson Mike and his wife Sue, just reflecting on the occasion of the unveiling of the plaque. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So this is 87 Fitzroy Avenue here in Drumcondra, just right beside Crow Park, in the shadow of Crow Park, and we got to hear Patrick O'Connell's grandson Mike, who travelled over from England with his wife Sue O'Connell, who wrote a book about Patrick O'Connell that was published not long after this plaque went up. So this plaque has been here, almost 10 years now. This plaque went up on the 5th of June 2015. I think I mentioned to you in our longer chat about Patrick O'Connell's life that when this plaque went up, it was the first to adopt the now format that Dublin City Council permanent plaques have, that round marble plaque with the Dublin City Council logo on an aluminium cap at the bottom. So this has been here now almost 10 years, and it was unveiled by Mike O'Connell, the grandson, and also Maureen O'Sullivan, the Dublin Central TD at the time, who was supportive of the campaign. So 10 years it's been here, and it was a nice ceremony at the time where they had former retired footballers, people like Steve Archibald, Bertie Auld, John Clark, who came over. It was a very nice occasion, and it's been here now, Fitzroy Avenue, for just 10 years.
Right, okay. I noticed the wording on the plaque. It doesn't say that he was born here in Fitzroy Avenue. It said that he lived here. So he obviously lived in various locations around Dublin.
Yeah, well, I suppose a lot of these, what happens when you get commemorative plaques like this, I've seen, is that sometimes places where people were born or where they lived might not actually exist anymore. There might be some confusion, or maybe numbers have been changed over time. So you have to sort of search, the deeds of houses, or check with the valuation office and so on to find out exactly where people lived. But he was born, more or less here. He was born as Patrick Joseph O'Connell in March 1887, and at that time they lived at 16 Mabel Street, so just right around the corner here. So we're at Fitzroy Avenue, and just right beside the shop here is Mabel Street. So he was born there, 16 Mabel Street, which the house doesn't exist anymore. And then after that, the family lived at an address on Jones's Terrace, and then they also lived at 72 Fitzroy Avenue. That's where he was when he got married. So the family lived around here. So he wasn't born here, but he did live at Fitzroy Avenue. And he also born at Mabel Street and lived at Jones's Terrace. So he was very much from this area.
Yeah. And you mentioned his family there being at the unveiling. Who proposed the plaque?
I believe it was the Patrick O'Connell Memorial Fund, the group. So they were set up after some Irish football fans who were living in England. They heard Mike O'Connell talk about his grandfather, this grandfather who led such a remarkable life. I think what happened was they heard him speaking about it. I think it was around 2013, and they felt compelled to form a group that would try to get a gravestone erected, at Patrick O'Connell's final resting place in London, because he was, he had an unmarked grave, and he died in poverty and was forgotten for so many years. So they set out to erect a gravestone for Patrick O'Connell in London, which they got. I think it was 2016 the gravestone was erected, but by then they decided they wanted to do other things. They also worked on other projects to try and increase awareness about Patrick O'Connell's life, and one of the things that they did, which actually happened before the gravestone was erected, is they got this Dublin City Council permanent plaque here at Fitzroy Avenue. So that's one of the ways that has helped Patrick O'Connell become better known in recent years. And actually, when we were walking down here, we went by the Phoenix Tyres garage just down the road here, and I saw the logo of the Phoenix outside the garage, and I was thinking that kind of sums up Patrick O'Connell's story is that somebody who led this remarkable life died in 1959, you know, completely anonymous pretty much at that time, forgotten for decades. But really in the last 10 years or so, really beginning with this plaque going up in Drumcondra, the story of Patrick O'Connell is much better known, not just in his, you know, his hometown of Drumcondra, but further afield. So the plaque, when this went up, it was an important moment for the Patrick O'Connell Memorial Group and for Patrick O'Connell's surviving relatives. And we heard the audio there. It was very clear just how touched and moved Mike O'Connell and his wife Sue were when they came here for the plaque unveiling.